Welcome to the Comin Up Charlotte podcast produced by Deneka Thomas and amílcar Sanatan. This limited podcast series is all about real life in East Port of Spain. It is about the hustle, the people, the everyday work that keeps the city moving, the stories of the ones who make Charlotte Street, aka Chinatown, what it is. Today, we're talking to Thaddeus Jardine, a nail technician, improving lives with his hands in the heart of the city.
Thaddeus, it is a pleasure to have you here. You are male.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It is good. You are male nail tech here in the heart of Port of Spain. You have been doing this work. I actually visited you over a number of years. This is over 10 years. I know you've been involved with this. And you take this with a lot of pride. You also mentor a number of young men in this profession as well. Yet there's a stereotype, a gender stereotype about men involved with beauty culture. Could you talk about your navigations of that and telling people that this is a real option for their career?
My navigation, that's a real big word, boy. Make me feel like I was Luffy or Nami or something, boy. But it's nothing like navigating, you know. I just live in my truth. I in my truth, I know myself, right? Everybody have different things that they will subscribe to or how they believe or their own belief for their faith and whatnot. At the end of the day, once I stand firm in my self-esteem and understand who I am and what I'm offering, I'm real comfortable in that. So for me, it really have no special way in which things are done. I have no recipe. You know, when you're cooking sometimes and they just say listening to the ancestors, yeah, I don't know if it's ancestral, but for me, at the end of the day, it's just me doing me, and that's being certain and solidified myself, what I stand for, my beliefs, and how I want to live my life. So it doesn't matter what anybody throw my way. Nah, water and duck back, dashing bush kind of vibes.
When you're talking about dashing bush, you're talking about the ancestors. I want to talk about where you are from. You are from Mova.
Yeah, man.
If you could just speak a little bit about the joys of that community life, some of the experiences you had growing up. Yeah.
How long what is? What is real long or what is real succinct?
I want you authentic as your full self.
Authentic? Nah, my authentic is very wordy, but life in the dirties way. I mean, it had the highs, it had the lows. You understand? I had the blows. Mommy did not beat me so much. But yeah, things happen. But I enjoy my community. One of the things I love about Never Dirty is that we close-knit now, right? I mean, everybody gonna get along with everyone. You know, you're gonna have it rifts in a community. Somebody have bad blood with others. But for the most part, everyone is good with everyone. I remember one time, visit a friend. He went to his house to do some work, and when we was done with the little workshop, I saw his neighbor, like next door neighbor, like literally a wall because like a tongue house setting. And I talking to the young lady and wiling her up and saying, we had a decent conversation. And I went back to him and said, yo, how come I never invited her to come on the events and stuff like that? And he snapped like, Thaddy, stop harassing my neighbors. I said, me not harassing your neighbors. And he went off. And I was like, bro, all right, cool, I done. Which I was finding weird because he said, don't make things hard for my mommy. I said, me make things hard. And that right there says to me, like, you have something different from where you come from. Because I could lean over the wall and talk to my neighbor, trouble them, harass them, vice versa, that kind of thing, ask for a cup of sugar. And then it had the added benefit, the fact that I grew up with a lot of relatives around as well now. So one of my neighbors would have been my aunt, you understand? But on the other side of the fence was Mr. Boodoo and Mrs. Boodoo. I used to really enjoy the little curry, come Diwali and thing. But Boodoo, rest in peace and big up yourself, boy, doggy, boy.
Oh, big up Mr.
Time you still lash. Yeah. So it had that kind of aspect about it, of unity, of close-knit. As I said, had the negatives. I mean, there's an influx of crime inside of there as well. And all of these things allow me to navigate, back to that word, how I choose to live now. Because I could see a clear example of these things I don't want for myself. I don't want to be as much as I love Never Dirty, I don't want to be confined to solely being in Never Dirty. I want to stretch my legs. I want to go different places. I want to have nobody looking for me. I don't want to be looking over my back. So Never Dirty is where you make it.
Yeah, Thaddeus, I have known you for a number of years personally. I here with Deneka and Vincent as well. We have worked with you as a spoken word performer. But recently I got the chance to learn about a very interesting experience when you were young about passing for what we call a prestige school.
But you can't talk about that yet.
Yes, I just wanted to know about that experience of you seemed a bit aloof at the time. You know, a lot of people were celebrating this achievement that you had, and you were just like a young person, like a child, like, okay, I go into a school, I don't know what friends I'll have. If you could just speak a little bit about, you know, coming from over and the expectations people had of you or did not have of you, and then go into prestige school.
So one thing when it comes to SEA, secondary school entrance assessment, whatever you want to call it, you have to write what school you want to pass. So and I always be like these young people, these children, these adolescents really don't know nothing about the school. The only thing that's going to influence you to want to go to a school is the fact that your parents told you about it. You have a bigger sibling, go in there. You have somebody in the community that you look up to, go in there. So beyond that, you have no idea. And for the school that I passed for, I've never seen anyone in my community wearing the uniform. And truth be told, I was fully engrossed in my childhood, enjoying being a child, waking up, playing pitch, playing scooch, going in the neighbor mango tree, taking a mango that was marking that I wake up and I do see it. That I not even used to study school uniforms that much, you know. It says all these different things, right? So with all that being said, when I passed to the school I passed, so it was like a big thing in the community because at the point in time, to this day, I don't think anyone else in the community passed for the school. I know one young man end up there, they pull him in through football. You know, that kind of way.
A transfer.
Yeah, a transfer basically. Right, so everybody was so big on it. Hey, Jordan, grandchild, passed to this school, bright boy, we like that. And I was like, I don't understand it. Because it didn't make no sense to me now, but for me, it's just school. And I don't even like school. That is it for me. I just thinking this is our next 5 to 7 years of torture now, but like, why even need to, why like I homeschool me? Right? But I saw right there and then, one, it also highlighted how our community, how close this community is. That everybody was cheering for me, that was glad this thing happened, right? But it also put a level of responsibility on my shoulders as well. Did I feel the pressures of this responsibility? No, I did not. I didn't even know that responsibility was there. So as I get older and I come to understand things, I realize what was happening more so now than then. But yeah, all in all, it was quite an experience to see how the community rallied around me at this point in time. And I would say that wasn't even my best schooling experience, to be very honest. I believe if I went to a school where my other friends and cousins were, I might have a better school experience. But all in all, things happen in your life. I believe things happen in your life to shape you, shape your character, build you, and take you into a place that allow me to do some of the things that I do now, which is mentorship and some of the philanthropic things that I do. So being able to share certain stories and relate to people and connect with them, I guess everything in the end was all for the better. It's all for the better. All in all, I love my duties, I love my community, I love my parents, and I love everyone at that point in time who supported me and wished me the best.
Charlotte Street is full of hustle and heart. Every vendor, every stylist, every hands at work adds to the story of resilience and accessibility. People leave all over the country in search of what Charlotte Street has to offer. This is Comin Up Charlotte, and now we're back to the episode.
Well, one of the interesting things I want to follow up on is that you went to university afterwards, secondary school.
Pasture?
Well, you passed through the school system, but you went all the way up. I saw you doing that work. And you are at an interesting nexus. People know you as a spoken word performer, you are entertainment host, but you are a social media influencer as a comedian. And you do games in the community and with the public. Just talk about that. Seems to be what people think is like hustle culture, but it's not just that. It's really cultural expression for you, it seems, from the outside, where you work with people with a lot of the talents that, you have been leaning into. If you could just speak to that, working as a nail tech by day, but he's a comedian by day too, and, entrepreneur.
Batman at night. Anyhow, so yeah, easily said than done. And that's why when I spoke about university, I say I passed through because 2 years in, I realized, but me like this shit now, eh? This is not me. This is not me. Now that's partly because the program wasn't exactly what I thought the program was going to be. Because the university I ended up in is not the tertiary level institution I was trying to be in initially. All right, so I end up in this next institution, and and that's where I found nails now. All right, because my cousin ex-husband at the point in time, he wasn't it. And I say, but boom, there's money in this. And I really like money. And girls in this. And I really like girls. And this is marrying the two things that I appreciate the most in life at this point in time. What am I doing? So I started learning the trade and the discipline and applying myself towards it. And then I said, you know what? I need to do more of that. Because balancing school and the nails. Took a semester off and I built my business. So a way in which that when I started back school, they were just calling. And I don't know, the city people who just work and school. Oh my God, God bless your soul. Because not me, I'm not the one, not the two. Or no numeric value. I'm not that person. I realized, boom, I cannot do this. I need to balance in it. And as well as I said, the program it wasn't what I quite thought it would have been. Because it was coding. For those who don't know, it was coding. Writing code and program. C and stuff. I mean, in the first year, the first language which I did feel, I did it. And I realized I don't like this code thing. Because I get into the second year and I don't get deeper into the coding. With all the different languages and the object-oriented, this and all them kind of different things. I like, I can't take this because you can spend hours writing a code. And when you try to render a thing and compile it and run it, it gonna crash. And then you go back and you have to realize it's because you miss a comma or some kind of exclamation mark. And no, I not done that. Then it's a task of solitude. You're doing this by yourself. And it's not just you alone. You're trying to block out everything. And I'm not that person. I love to involve people. I love working with people and being interactive. So I said to myself, boom. This journey ends here. We done all that. I know that. We see the from Lord of the Rings? Yeah, I done. I cut the journey short. I had no Sam. I know Frodo and I had no Sam. The journey done, right? If I know Gandalf here, I know Legolas here, I good. Journey cut short, we find a new mission. Yeah, so that's what we did.
I would like to lean into your mission a little bit more. There are two areas that I have seen you made significant strides. You would have done computer repair training in East Port of Spain and the BTM, right?
Correct.
And then I also seen the outreach you have done with young men and boys throughout Trinidad and Tobago in your former studio that was on Frederick Street, but also what you do with the Boys to Men Foundation. So if first you could discuss a little bit about the program that you did in the sport of Spain and building that capacity with young people.
All right. So just to tie the two things, one of the things I realized about me being a nail tech, which I decided was to cut the university experience short, was the fact that I, being an entrepreneur, being able to run my own hours, I could invest myself in other aspects of life that I appreciate. Right? So, for instance, one of those things would have been, as we said, the social media stuff, the influencer, being a content creator, being a comedian, being an actor, all these different aspects. And all these tools then help me to do what I do when it comes to the outreach work. As I spoke about the PC repairs of BTM, or matter of fact, let me just say, Port of Spain and environments, right? As well as for the Boys to Men organization. For those who may not know, let me explain. This is a program where we work with teens. Even actually, from the time we do SCA, we enter into schools once the school has us. And we work with them so as young as 11, all the way up to 25. And we have discussions and conversations about the role of the man in the family, self-esteem, discipline, determination, dedication, setting goals. All these different things that we strongly believe are values and tools that can help men be better in society, right? So one of the things for me, I believe I found my purpose, and my purpose is to help others to live a more palatable life now, because it's real tough out here. Making things easier, helping them with the burden, showing them that hey, if we do this, we could be in a better place. All right, so I enjoy that. It's amazing. I started that basically because one day the Boys Men program itself came to my community, and I sat in a semicircle. We do a semicircle format, and had discussions. And I liked what I heard, and I enjoyed the experience. I was invited to come back, and I went back, and that started my training for me to now lead programs myself, where I've been across Trinidad and Tobago. As I said, primary schools, secondary schools, and community, doing all the different work that I do, in hopes that it could better a nation and make us reach into a place where that, when other younger ones come, when we grandchildren here, it still has something left for them to enjoy and appreciate in the country, and not all hope is lost.
So I just going to think about coming up. You left Mova, you came into Port of Spain with business. What does Port of Spain mean to you?
Port of Spain means to me, boy, I don't know. Port of Spain to me means life, boy. It means growth. It means keeping busy.
Thank you for joining us on Comin Up Charlotte. This podcast is part of a wider project that includes poetry, visual art, and a final community event, all shaped by the stories we've gathered here in East Port of Spain. To learn more, follow along, share an episode, or start a conversation of your own. Thank you again for listening.